It's time to take 10 minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.
Welcome to our discussion of Parshat Bo. Keep going. Look in Parshat Bo, we have numerous mentions of the idea of Pesach. The idea that Pesach, the holiday of Pesach, eating matzah, is reiterated time and again. The notion is that when something is important, it's mentioned many times in the Torah. The idea of not afflicting the stranger mentioned many times because it's an important principle. Shabbos is mentioned many times because it's an important principle. The Exodus from Egypt is all over the Torah because it's an important concept. And the idea of Pesach is mentioned many times, so many times that when it comes to Pesach, we have 7-8 days of Pesach. We can find readings for every day of different 7-8 places in the Torah where indeed Pesach is mentioned. One of the times can easily get by. We're so accustomed to seeing mention of Pesach. We say, it's another mention of Pesach, but it's actually very strange. The rabbis draw attention to a similar pasuk in Devarim that says 6 days you should eat matzah, and the 7th day is a holiday to God. So they said 6 days. I thought you're supposed to eat for 7 days. They say, just like there's one day where you don't have to eat matzah. All the days of Pesach, you don't have to eat matzah. You just can eat matzah. The only day when you have to eat matzah is the first night. Similarly, in our parsha, there's a pasuk, a very similar pasuk. Shiva yamim tochal matzot. Here it says 7 days you should eat matzah, which we would expect. V'yom hashvi chag l'Hashem. On the 7th day is a holiday to God. Wait a second. On the 7th day is a holiday to God? What about the first day? I thought the main part of Pesach was the first day. Also, a rabbi at Mechon Meir, Yal Vered, I thank you for these thoughts. I just wanted to share them with you in English. He says, wait a second. The 7th day of Pesach, I thought that was because of splitting of the sea. But we're in Parshat Bo. The sea wasn't split till next week's Parsha. So what's the meaning of the 7th day? So we say, well, it's a very, very important concept here. What's the context here? The context is the last section of Parshat Bo, which we put into our tefillin. We put it in the tefillin in our hand and our head, because it mentions tefillin. And it mentions the Exodus, and it mentions the firstborn. And it says that, so we're talking about the future. We're not talking about this story of the Jews going out of Egypt. We're talking about the memorial of Exodus forevermore. And in remembering Pesach forevermore, he said it's important, the 7th day of Pesach. What's the 7th day of Pesach? Yes, it's going to eventually commemorate the splitting of the sea, but there's something else about the 7th day. And maybe it relates to the 8th day of Sukkot as well. What's unique about the 7th day is as follows. Usually, says Rabbi Eyal Vered, Mechon Meir, usually when we celebrate something, we start with the gusto. Oh, it's the first night. The kids are all excited. You have a new holiday, a new idea, a new baby, a new project, a new New Year's resolution. So you start with the gusto. Oh, you're so excited, enthusiasm. But then it kind of wanes away. In our generation, the Yom HaAtzmaut, Yom HaShoah, the Israel Independence Day, the Holocaust Memorial Day, these are so important. But with time, some people don't come to the Holocaust Memorial Day, and there aren't as many survivors as there used to be. And you wonder, how long will these holidays, these modern holidays, last? Comes the Torah and says, no, I don't want the Exodus to wane with time. On the first day of Pesach, there's a holiday, true. But what I want is that even on the 7th day, even after much time has passed, that you still will continue to remember the Exodus, still continue to have passion about the notion that God swooped into history and saved the Jewish people. That's what you should do. We cannot be like those who peter out with time. No, we have to grow with time. That's what I think Beit Shammai was getting at when they said that you should light the candles in an ascending order. The Beis Hillel. That's what we do. We want Hanukkah to increase in interest. They say, wow, that's great. There was a miracle for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. That's incredible. We shouldn't grow accustomed to the miracle. On the first day, it was a big deal. After all, it's the beginning of a miracle. It's exciting. The second day, only 7 days. On the last day, it's only going to last for one more day. So Beit Shammai, things wane. So Beit Hillel said, no, don't allow your enthusiasm for the miracle to wane. On the contrary, it should grow with time. So that's the idea of the seventh day of Pesach, to never allow our feeling accustomed to a miracle, accustomed to the holiday, accustomed to the Torah, to wane. On the contrary, it should grow with time. We have this problem with children. Sometimes children are very excited in first grade. Oh, they learn the alphabet, and it's very exciting. And then with time, enthusiasm wanes. They say, Hebrew, Jewish studies, they sort of lose interest. Let us go on to something new and exciting, college and high school. And it's very exciting. But that's not the way we should learn. On the contrary, our enthusiasm should grow. If we're not building, we're slipping. Famous thought that don't go up the altar on the ma'alot al mizbechi. Don't go up on the altar on steps, because with a step you could get stuck on a step. But I'd rather you have a ramp. Why do you have a ramp? Because in a ramp you either go up or you slide down. If you stand in one place on a ramp, slowly you'll begin to atrophy and slide down. So we say, no, you should always be growing in Torah, day after day. Children should understand that this is not something that's going to graduate in 8th grade and 12th grade and after college. No, learning is a lifelong project, and there has to be as much enthusiasm on day one in first grade as there is on so-called graduation in 12th grade and after YU and after Smicha and after learning day after day. There should be continued enthusiasm. There should be as much enthusiasm in the Daf Yomi cycle, a 7.5-year cycle. There should be as much enthusiasm in the 4th year when you're sort of waddling through the middle of the Shas of the Talmud, as there is the beginning when I'm starting the new project to finish the Shas. We need to continue to grow in our enthusiasm for Torah and mitzvot. And that's why we always say, Erev V'Voker V'Tzarayim, we learn Torah in the morning, we learn in the afternoon, we learn at night. There should be no period in which we can say, that was before, but now we're done with it. There's always room for continued growth. That's part of the notion of our parsha, the notion of timidiyut, of constancy. Zachor Hayom Hazeh, the remembrance of Exodus is Kol Yemei Chayecha. It's all the days of your life. The remembrance doesn't wane. It doesn't just wax and wane. It should be constant. We need to maintain constant moral vigilance, constant sense of learning, growth, and a constant memory of the Exodus from Egypt. We cannot fall prey to the human tendency of atrophy. On the contrary, Judaism must continue to grow. You might have thought, it was a great period of the Talmudic Renaissance, but then after that, the Gaonim, it wanes a bit. But then all of a sudden came the Rishonim, came the early scholars, Rashi and the Rambam, and all of a sudden things are so exciting. There was a great fervor for Torah in Europe, and maybe it sort of waned a little bit in the 40s and 50s, but it's back. The enthusiasm is growing. We as a Jewish people, we have to march forward. We have to continue to grow, to build. Same thing when it comes to the land of Israel. We can't wane in our enthusiasm. The enthusiasm with which Ben Gurion built the state at the beginning of history, of Zionist history, we have to continue the same enthusiasm to build, to grow, and to continue. Let us hope that we can learn the lesson of the seventh day of Pesach, that we can continue to grow and never wane and never begin to falter in our enthusiasm, in our commitment, in our passion. If indeed we can do that, and hopefully we can march forward confidently toward a greater world, a better world, more Torah, more mitzvos, and hopefully more redemption speedily in our times. Thank you for joining us here at the Baron Hirsch Congregation for a discussion of the holidays and various parshiot. Join us each week for these sessions. And thanks to Jason Lefkowitz, our producer. Thank you.
This has been 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.